JP.
Chat, can he play CDM? Can he play CDM? Because, like, you know, like, he looks tall, innit? You're on that, like, you're on the way he looks quite tall. Chat, how tall do you reckon he is? Do you reckon he's like 7 foot? And, like, do you reckon he's better than Fabinho? I didn't even see. I'm changing the title because yeah, people are going to be flabbergasted. Yeah, when you click on this, yes, this is the disappointment that you're going to have. Liverpool sign someone. Oh, this is mad. Chat, can he play CDM? And can he play first team? Can he play CDM and can he play first team? These are the first two questions in which I need to establish, right? That's important. Right, so if you can't play CDM, then what's the solution? Now, by the way, big up to the kid. I know I'm probably being a little shitbag, you know what I mean? Shout out to Trey Neone. Big up to Trey Neone. We've signed someone from Leicester. I don't know the fee and I don't know anything else, but he's our number 8 in a 16-year-old sense. James, I really want us to get Eze before. Well, guess what, G? We ain't even got a CDM. So, like, where are you thinking that's going to happen? I'd like Eze. Eze be cool. Hi, Wisdom. I hope you're well. But yeah, can the kid play CDM? Neone times Enzo. What a midfield. We're ready to challenge. Do you reckon he's won like a Youth Champions League? Chat, you've got Enzo's Asian Champions League, and then you've got Neone's, you've got this Champions League. I think this is a really, really productive sign. And actually, the more that I'm looking at it, he looks about 5'10", maybe 5'11". And he might be boss. He might actually, like, do you know, like the way Klopp just wanted some random fella from Japan? He might have just wanted some sick youth kid. Like, chat, we're always saying we want to be Brighton, innit? So, yeah, we've just established we want to be Brighton. Chat WRL, we want to be Brighton. Yes. I just want to make sure that we're all agreeing first. And what do Brighton do? They sign gems, correct? This could be our gem. Nah, I'm shameless, bro. Nah. This is when it gets bad. Ugh. Hey, chat. I think... Yeah, this is what I think. I think I've been an awfully productive and consistent YouTuber, right? Ugh. And by the way, I'm not shitting on this kid. This kid is probably amazing. But do you know, and by the way, yes, I am impatient. Do you want me to tell you why? Because I live in a generation where we're all impatient. I live in a generation where it's swipe, and then it's like clip after clip after clip. And our attention spans scientifically decrease, right? And attention span is very important in a window like the transfer window. And I shit myself on a day-to-day basis that we might not actually do anything. And that's a problem, of course. Why is it a problem, James? And why are you being negative? I'm not being negative. I love Neone. And I bet you he's boss. He's going to be the next Yaya Toure, no doubt. By the way, where does he play? Is he a midfielder? No, I don't even know where he plays. But he's number 8, so I assume he's a midfielder. It would be very, very nice if we actually went out there and got a CDM. Maybe this could be the dude. I could be wrong. But I'm just saying, CDM would be custody. Know what I mean, chat? So welcome back to James Redmond TV. I actually didn't even know that news was there, hence the thing. I was actually originally fuming about KALVIN Phillips, the rumours. Do you want me to tell you what made me fume about the KALVIN Phillips rumours, though, chat? It weren't the fact that we were linked to KALVIN Phillips. I didn't believe in the rumours. But what annoyed me, one, was how many people believed the rumours. And then what annoyed me, two, was how many people was actually okay if the rumours was true. Like, oh, KALVIN Phillips would be sound. And this, that, and the other. Chat, I know that we've got to trust Jurgen Klopp. And by the way, I do. It's going to be a long time before you'll be able to get me to say Jurgen Klopp out. However, I can still disagree with him, you know? Like, I wouldn't tell my ma to leave life just because I disagree with her. The same way I wouldn't tell Klopp to leave Liverpool just because I disagree with him. You know what I'm saying? So, I love Klopp the same way I love me ma. Well, it's different. It's obviously not like the same way that you love your mum, because that'd be very abnormal, probably strange as well. Chat, did you know in Greek there's different words for love? Little fun fact. And I think that makes sense, because it's like you love your girlfriend and in a different way than you love your mum, and you love your mum in a different way to you love your manager. And back to the premise, I disagree with him sometimes. And I'm starting to grow a bit of fear. Why? Short attention span. We've established James Redmond is a modern day degenerate with a short attention span, who has came to the conclusion that even though there's 7 days left, we're not going to get any more signings. And I'm only just a little bit concerned, because I'm fine with paper talk, and I'm fine with calling out paper talk. And it's fun looking at the intricacies of things that may or may not be happening. And you can paint your own little stories and conclusions in your head, right? But I'm sick of this BS chat. You know what I'm saying? It's just getting a little bit annoying, a little bit frustrating. And I don't really think that it's productive. So that's why I'm sitting here to you all saying, chat, I'm not a happy man. You love Mike Daz. I do love Mike Daz. Mike Daz is a cool American motherfucker who loves buffalo wings, you know? I'm sure he loves buffalo. Mike, do you like buffalo wings? And although I love Mike Daz, I'd like to know if he's going to be the CDM, because why did he get brought up in conversation, Drunk Vigo? Is he our CDM? And chat, if I'm snappy, just know it's coming from the heart, mate. I love you. Oh my goodness. No one loves you more than me. You know what I'm saying? Besides Jesus. But no one loves you more than me. YouTube sense. No one. Your favourite YouTuber doesn't love you more than me. I love you more. But what I'm saying is that I'm very frustrated. I am rewatching the stream from the start because I missed a little. Who the fuck is Neoni, and can he play CDM? I asked the same question, say. I've established he's a number 8, so I assume he can play some part of the midfield, maybe box to box. Is he a CDM, and is he ready? Who knows? And I know that's Sobo's number 8, so obviously, jokes aside, he's not a Liverpool player. I go too far with banter. We've also signed someone called Natio, according to... Who the fuck's Natio, chat? Just one sec. Natio. Ah, okay. Chat. We've got another signing. We've got another signing. Might be a baller. Two signings in 1 hour, you know, chat. Get the W's in. LFC have completed the signing of 16-year-old England-born. Yeah, he's homegrown. Sierra Leone. Decent youngster. Amara Nello from West Ham. The Merseyside club have acquired the young, talented defender. Oh, we got a defender on a 5-year deal. Nello was born in England to Sierra Leonean parents. And this is the dude. He actually looks older than me, low-key. I'm not even going to lie to you, chat. Don't you reckon he looks older? So, chat, we've acquired a centre-back and a centre midfielder, you know. Chat, I'm just saying. You wanted a centre midfielder. Your wish was granted. You wanted a midfielder. Your wish was granted. 2 quality signings. No one can complain now. We've just signed the best Japanese player of all time. Did you know he won a Champions League, chat? You don't believe me, do you? Chat, I feel like you have short-term memories. I've shown you this enough now. You don't believe that Endo has a Champions League? One sec. You need evidence. You need support. He always put his name as Endo Wataru. But we've signed a Champions League winner, which I'm going to prove in the screen in a second. We've also signed 2 super wonder kids who have, I'm sure, even though I'm not certain, but I'm sure have absolutely teared it up at an under 16 or under 15 level, depending on where they play. And I'm sure that we're dead boss. I'm sure we're amazing, you know? Like, great stuff. And by the way, you want proof of Champions League? There you go, you fucks. Yeah, eat that for breakfast, you pieces of shit. You're onto the way in Step Brothers, it says that. You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? Like, of course we do with Liverpool FC. This is what we do, sir. We only do shit bags, you know what I mean? We only do We only do underwhelming signings. Let me get back to normal, fam. This is getting to be a joke now. We need to see CDM, Klopp, and FSG taking the piss of us. Taking the piss out of us. Now struggling to get top 4 this season. You're damn right, sir. And here's the score, chat. Get on this. Do you know what I said last year? No top 4. Do you know what I'm saying right now? I'm not sure of top 4. Do you know why that's a problem? Because we all wanted top 4. And I don't like the fact I've got uncertainties. It'd be nice to even go in blindly confident. Like, if I was blindly confident in a bunch of signings we made and they were all ended up being crap, at least I'd be blindly confident. It gives me something to look forward to. What I don't want to do is be in the position where I'm questioning, do I invest into the football team? Because I don't even think I'm going to get a better product. But of course, I'm going to still invest in the football team because I'm a stupid person who just endlessly just wants to support this team and do really want them to do well. I love this team, mate, to the bottom of my heart. But they really frustrate me sometimes. It's like any relationship ever. Like, you've got those friends who are just really, really, really annoying, and they're like, "Oh, how do you help me out? Where's the advice?" And then you give them the advice, and they don't. Goes in funny out the other, and it's really frustrating. And that's exactly what Liverpool Football Club. Chat, have you got any analogies right now for the relationship of us fans and Liverpool? Because I am struggling, and yeah, I feel like it's a very one-way love at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Guess in coming days we'll see Klopp is happy with his squad and several youngsters stepping up. Enzo has surprised everyone, and the feeling is no further additions needed. Now, chat, we've just established that we have got a mind reader and a time traveler on our stream. This is going to be... Someone clip this moment up, and then, do you know, in 5 to 10 days' time, when that shit happens and this quote comes out, we are going to reference this stream, and then we're going to actually solidify Michael Fleming as the messiah of James Redmond TV, because, bro, this dude is bang on in a football sense. And, like, that's why I'm thinking, like, wow, that could actually be the case, by the way. Smash the likes, and I apologize for anything. But we need serious stuff. Yeah, chat, let's find solutions. What solutions? Let's do that. Phillips says, it's the first team players we want, not academy kids. That's right. And have the potential to be top players. No, I do want academy kids. I want the academy to be ever evolving. I think it's productive that it's ever evolving. What I don't think is productive is leaving the first team squad. So no, I don't mind that we're getting young players. I'm actually really happy for them. I'm sure they're really good lads, and I'm sure they're going to do a fantastic job. Hopefully they do. But in a sense of, even though they might do a fantastic job, we still need to worry about the first team, and our priority is the first team. I don't necessarily invest into the academy. You know, that's the club, and that's their doing. I invest into the stadium. I invest into the club. Of course, it's only through season. It's not season tickets, but match day tickets. And a few various other ways. But yeah, it's one of those things where when you're a consumer, you do sometimes wish you had a little bit more. It's not that I'm not trying to say I don't have faith in Enzo, by the way. Because some people will be like, how do you not have faith? Give him a chance. I'm giving him a chance. I love him more than you, mate. You know what I mean? But people just seem to think, well, yeah, well, Enzo's here, so we're fine, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. And yeah, it's really frustrating. And chat, if anybody asks who have we signed, you let them know. You let them know the absolute gems that have graced Liverpool Football Club academy. Too early in the season to panic. I disagree. Okay, then, so Smith, would have it been wrong for me to panic last season? Smith, I want you to answer that question in the chat if you can say it, because that'd be great. It'd be great if this was an engaging conversation. Reason why I ask is because I think it's important to identify that if I predicted a downfall last season and the downfall happened, well, now you're telling me it's too early to panic. So what am I relying on that supports improvement? What am I relying on? Is it hope? Is it faith? Is it substance? Have we signed 3 world-class players who are going to elevate us from 5th to 2nd or 1st? Because if that's the case, and you can somehow convince me that's the case, I'm more than happy to engage in that idea. And I'll come on stream and I'll say we've done all these great things and that we've made these great signings and we are elite and we are amazing and City can't chat to us and United can't chat to us. And I'd go on every single stream and dunk on people's asses, even though I already do, but even more so because now I've got substance to back the claims that are shameless or considered shameless. But when we were really good, it was shameless claims, but at least it was truthful, shameless claims. You get what I'm saying? So, Smith, why don't we panic? Because I panicked last year and I was told the same thing, and then it went to tits, and now we could only be going to Dublin opposed to friggin' Where is it? Wembley. Oh, that would have been quality. You know what I'm saying? You are 78k. So thank you, Wisdom, and thank you, you all. You couldn't do it without you. You know what I'm saying? James also, Indy Callier is doing an LFC exclusive report at 10:30 p.m. I seen this. Is this person reliable at all? Because I don't know who it is, chat. And if you give me the fact that he's reliable, then it looks like we're staying on till 10:30. You know what I mean? We'll find out what this exclusive news is. So if there is exclusive news from a supposed reliable journalist, I'm a bellend to sit there and wait for it. I'm a tit because I love this club and I want to hope that something's about to happen. It's like, say, if someone you loved was in hospital, I don't want to put that thought in people's heads, but like you want updates, you want to be like, are you okay? Are you fine? I want to know if you're fine. And right now, I don't know if my club's fine. It's not that I am happy to sit here and be like, oh, this club, I'm sick of even trying to prove the point about FSG. I just want us to do well, mate. You know what I mean? I'm tired of conflict. I'm tired of divide. I'm happy to agree to disagree on certain things, but it's became very like toxic in some ways. You know what I mean? And I just wish that we were a little bit more, like a bit more sound with each other. Because it does cause thingy. So I don't want to be negative. I want to be shameless. I want to be here with you. It's like Enzo's going to win the fucking quadruple. You know what I mean? But there's nothing supporting Enzo, which makes the claim that he's going to win the quadruple. You know what I mean? So that's important. Can we play Jay Speeding? We can play Jay Speeding. If we're going to go off a technicality basis, that is entirely possible. James, with how much time is left in the window, how much does Liverpool spend? Now, that's a phenomenal question because now there's 16 million in which we've spent that I didn't even expect us to spend. I was like, who the fuck's this guy and why is 16 million? So if you asked me that question a week ago, I'd have been wrong. So I feel like I'll give you an estimate. I don't know. I don't know. I estimate. I don't know. Big up to Tom Little, by the way, because he's in the chat and I didn't even read his comment. That was disrespectful. Breaking news, Mascherano comes out of retirement to fill the empty 6 role in Liverpool squad. I'd take that. You think I won't take that? Hamez, you were having a debate with a fella on TikTok last night. Fully agree with your point. If you want to chat on Twitter about it, I'll be down. Oh, Texas Dave, did you see that? Did anyone see my stream yesterday with that guy? What was his name? Connor or something? I was debating him about God, weren't I? Because he was an atheist, and I was trying to use his logic against him. I weren't trying to turn him into a Christian, but he tends to be somebody who disrespects Christians. So I just went on and thought, like, I'd just let him know, you know what I mean? If you follow me TikTok, you might have seen it. But yeah, I don't go into mad thingy debates. I was just trying to like sort of whatever. Hamez, I can't lie. I don't think signing KALVIN Phillips from Leeds is a bad sign. He plays for Man City, bro. Hey, chat, I just want you to know, like, have you seen the problem here? KALVIN Phillips has played that little football in the previous 12 months. My guy Mo, shout out to my guy Mo. He thought he played for friggin' Leeds still. Chat, he thought we were going to be linked with a championship player. Little did he know that this KALVIN Phillips from Leeds, guess what? He just won the treble. But you wouldn't know that because he's played fuck all football, Mo. Yeah, but I love you though, Mo. You're boss, lad. You know what I mean. You're amazing. You are amazing. You're a cool dude. Sam, big up to you, mate. Woo! Chat, any more signings? It's also the fact we're not close to signing anyone. Wait there, what? Can't you read? Wait there, did I read it wrong? Did I read that? Did I stop reading? Did I stop reading too early? Sorry, Mo. Mo, wait there, lad. Mo, wait there. I've disrespected your comment. Chat, what did he say? Can someone comment what he said? Mo got flabbed off. Mo, sorry. Nah, Mo, see what I mean about the short attention span. Don't say I never warned you about the short attention span, chat. I identified this at the start of the stream. Mo, I found you. Mo! Fucking Mo. Big up you, Mom. But the problem is we're getting him from City. Oh. Chat. See, that's what you call right there. And I'm about to expose myself. That's what you call desperate for banter. Desperate for banter. That was my problem. I just need something to thingy. And I thought like Mo had a dumb moment and I find dumb moments funny. It's only because I have a lot of dumb moments myself. So I thought I'd laugh at him before it. You know what I mean? But now I've just made myself look like a tit. But the problem is we're getting him from City. That's right. We are getting him from City. Nah, don't clip that, chat. Just don't clip that. Whatever you do, just don't clip it. Yeah, thank you. He hasn't played a game since he signed. That's right. That's right. I wonder. Yeah, it's interesting. He's homegrown. That's right. Young, a ping eyes test. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Breaking news: 65 mil bid for Lavia. Don't mind if I diddly do. We stand with Mo. Liverpool went downhill. We never replaced Genie. Well, that weren't our problem. People seem to think the sole reason was because Mane left or because Genie Wijnaldum weren't replaced, which he was. Thiago came in, and Thiago was very, very fine for the season. In the quadruple chasing season, I thought he was fantastic. We got 92 points and got to the end of all 4 competitions. So I don't, and that was without Genie. So the reason why that's important is because that means Genie weren't the case study. And there was also seasons where we were bad with Mane. So it's not just because Mane left, and it's certainly not just because we never replaced Genie. We did replace Genie, not like for Genie, but we did replace Genie. Our problem was we held on to Henderson for too long, and we held on to Fabinho for too long in terms of making them first team players and not at least bringing in any competition. They could have been a part of the squad. I was very fine with that. But as a main starter, no thank you. No me gusta, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. So that's why I sit there and I say, well, we should have probably let them go. Or we should have at least got them some competition. Because now there's a competitive element to the game. I think Fabinho got very comfortable there for a while. And I think Henderson started being a bit shit. Started going back to maybe 15, 16 Henderson. And we remember 15, 16 Henderson. Sideways passes to Jose Enrique. Chat, we don't want to go back there. And we're already back in Europa League, so hashtag just saying, if we don't buy anyone, we thought 13, 14 was bad. If we don't buy anyone, do we then start protesting? No. Because if you haven't came to your minds up right, if you haven't made your minds up right now on whether or not they should stay or go, based on what you know, and you know a lot. Let's say you're a knowledgeable person on the FSG topic and you know the pros and you know the cons, and you've established that they should stay up to this point, and you're saying the determining factor whether they stay or not is a good transfer window. No, I've never judged my ownership based on transfer windows as much as I probably should. It's a factor, but it's not the only factor. It's like the way you can conclude many versions of evidence, or not versions. There's many ways to conclude evidence. There's scientific evidence, there's visual evidence, there's also personal experience, there's eyewitnesses. There's plenty different types of evidence, right? Now, our ownership have done things wrong beyond my care for transfers. We could be a top 4 team, and if we got more things right off the pitch and the owners aligned with the movement and with the idea of Liverpool Football Club and with the foundations it was built off, best believe I'd have been there, mate. I'd have been there supporting them no matter what failure. I'd have been there through the failures the same way I have been. But I don't think they align with the culture of the football club. I weren't happy with them pre-Super League. And then when the Super League was announced, and even though it never happened, I don't think that changes anything. I think there's a reason why people still get arrested for attempted murder, because they still attempted to murder someone. Just because they weren't successful doesn't now mean, well, you weren't successful, even though you tried to hit someone with a car off a bridge. You know what I mean, chat? So, like, they should still be punished in some way. Justice should still be served. The same way, in the sense that, how does ownership get away with being fine with not consulting the fans or the people at the club who are important about a whole different league? So no, I think if you haven't came to the conclusion right now that these owners are just a bit weird or don't align with the historicity of the football club or don't align with the culture of the football club, however way you want to word it, they've just done enough for me. They could go out and have great windows and I don't care, because I still think that they have the possibility of turning this football club into something that it's not, which I don't agree with. So that's just me. And I definitely wouldn't be basing my decisions on ownership purely off of transfer windows, which largely is what Manchester United fans can do, but they also have additional reasons like the stadium and, you know, how much the Glazers invested their own money into certain things. But I don't even care about that, mate. It's just certain things cannot agree with. Cannot agree with. It's the fact we are interested in no world-class players. Doing our business late means less players and worse players who can't cost a large fee. Surely we haven't learned this after many years. You might be right, Sam. You might be right. That is right. We are always very unprepared, and the plan that we do have tends to not be great. And the biggest problem with Liverpool is we never have a plan B. And when we do have a plan B, we haven't really executed that properly. So it is a big shame how much we tend to struggle for signings that we want. And I think player identity is starting to become a problem for Liverpool, because it's fine if you can't get the flashy names, but now we need to get enough of the gems and then hope that all these gems turn into flashy names and big names, like the way we did before, and then keep going forward. You know what I mean? We're going into a season where Manchester United have 34 players in their squad. We have 23, and that's massive. That's a big difference. Huge. They could literally start a whole starting 11 with the additional players that they've got on top of us. That is wild chat. And I understand that. And think about the way Man United's fans moan about money. They think we're bad for moaning about money. Oh, Darwin Núñez for 100 million. It was 85, but that's fine. At the same time, like I just sit there and I think, well, must suck to be you. Imagine it being us, you know what I'm saying? It's like if the only thing you was fed a day was a McDonald's, not going to be overly nutritious, but you're still going to be happy because you're getting something. The dude to the left will look at that McDonald's like it is the finest of fruits. It's just one of those things, you know what I'm saying? Klopp has never had great player ID. I don't see why the owners saw this and chose to give him further power and competence in every department. I think everybody is massively underachieving right now. And people, when you doubt Klopp, people seem to think you're now automatically jumping on him and saying he should go. No, I can disagree with my mum on things. It doesn't mean I wanted to exit my life or anything like this. The same way I don't want Klopp to exit the club at all. But yes, I have disagreed with a lot of things he's done this summer, and it's been really, really bad. Do you think, or do you not think, that because of the previous ownership that a lot of us have experienced causes the way we treat FSG? Let me read that again. Do you not think because of the previous ownership that a lot of us have experienced? Yes, right. That do you know what? I think that's actually a fair question. Now let's analyze causes. The cause for some people is that our last ownership caused a potential bankruptcy, a potential falling all the way down in the leagues, maybe even no more Liverpool. That's a very fearful thing to go through. But now that experience is gone. And now the question is, do you always hold the same standards? So I was born, I have one lifespan, even though but we would also say I'm different now to what I was when I was 3. And the standards that you held me to when I was 3 are very different and much, much lower than what you hold me to now. You just let a 3-year-old sit there and play with shit. You're not going to let 22-year-old Hamez sit there and play with shit. Hamez, get productive. Hamez, do something. You are not going to achieve anything just sitting there. You can increase the standards. And it's fine to increase the standards with an ownership, especially when there was opportunities to increase the standards. What's the standards? Well, I'm a Liverpool fan. And based on what I was taught when I was growing up, we're a huge football team. And then when I back the evidence that supports us being a big football team, it's overwhelming evidence. There's overwhelming evidence that we have the most trophies in this country. There's overwhelming evidence that we've got 19 league titles. There's overwhelming evidence that we've got 6 Champions Leagues. So that's enough to tell me, and that wasn't even the case when I was younger. Before it was 4 Champions Leagues when I was born. It was still 19 titles. 18 titles. So it makes you sit there and think, well, okay then, we're a big football team. We're built on success. The greatest ever manager said anything less than first is bad. And he's like the god of Liverpool pretty much. Think about the way Shankly's praised. So, okay, then, thankfully I'm not following myself, but I am following who was considered the god of Liverpool, and he said anything less than first was bad, and now we're okay with Champions League. Now, how can we prove that to be true? Well, there's a massive incentive to go and get Champions League, and it seems to be that in terms of a transfer business, we tend to do more. And another thing that attests to this is the Super League. Do you think that FSG went into the Super League believing we can win this Super League? Because I don't think they did. Reason being, we were poorer than pretty much every other team in that Super League. Pretty much. There was no way of competition, but it was guaranteed money season in, season out, and it was profitable. If they cared about tradition or the historicity of the football club, they would have not decided to go in that league. And the only reason why they pulled out, I think a good causation for why they pulled out, was simply they were a bit scared. A few other teams pulled out, and there was internal meetings behind the scenes saying this is going to have to collapse. But notice the way they weren't the first. They weren't the first to disagree, and they weren't the first to pull out. They're not leaders. They were simply all part of a band who were looking to increase funds, and now we've analysed their intentions. The intentions was never, let's build this football club into what it should be. The intentions was always, how do we maximize profits? Now, it's not bad to just want to maximize profits. That's actually a very good thing. But if it takes away from the detriment, it's like, I would say that was the closest thing to an illegal act in football. It weren't illegal. They had full right to do it if they wished. But come on, chat. Didn't that feel illegal? The way one day it was just football was normal. The next day football was gone. You know what I'm saying? That felt illegal. So it was the closest thing to a crime that they were going to commit. And that's why I sit there and say, if someone commits a crime, did he just get away with it? No. You've got to now be considerate. This person has now committed a crime. He could do it again. And we've analysed the true intentions behind the crime. That's important. That is massively important. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where I started off on that rant, but, you know, I feel like I got somewhere there. Shout out, that's the one, lad. Now you understand. Business first, fans second. And chat, fine, if you're FSG in, you need to accept that this is the order. And if you accept and you're okay with this being the order, then you have your premise. I disagree with that premise. Okay, I don't agree with that way of thinking. So yeah, so I formulate my opinions off the history of this football club and the way that it should be run. So when you're mentioning about should fans be scared, that's what I'm trying to turn it back around to, isn't it? When fans should be scared of the previous ownership, well, now I can sit there and say, well, yes, but we were also once upon a time the biggest team in the world, and we had an opportunity there for a second to keep building that momentum. Chat WRL. You're telling me there weren't an opportunity there after the league winning season to sign more than Sepp van der Berg, Harvey Elliott and Adrian? Love Harvey Elliott. Well done to Adrian for winning the Super Cup. Sepp van der Berg, hopefully one day Sepp van der Berg can still do his thing. That was a very underwhelming transfer window. Short term caused us a huge detriment. Could have done with more players. So that matters, you know. And I'm not ranting, I'm not raving, even though I said that this was a rage session. I'm actually trying to come at it from a logical conclusion, you know what I'm saying? I'm FSG neutral. They suck, but I have seen worse, which is not an excuse to keep them. So now you've identified that's not an excuse to keep them. So now what you need to sit there and say is, maybe you don't care about it this much, but I think if you want to really put a bit more intellectual thought in it, you need to say, okay, then what's the pros? What's the cons? What do I believe about this ownership? So do I believe this ownership has the best interests? If the answer is yes, what's the evidence to support that claim? And do the pros outweigh the cons? The second you come to your answers, that's when you can come to a full conclusion on them. You certainly shouldn't do it just solely based off transfer windows, that's for sure. Big up to KALVIN. He says, this is a civilized rage, Hamez. We need a meltdown. I have got no more meltdowns in me, brother. Right? I have done a full week of defending Endo, Asian Champions League, and it was boss, and it was fun, and I loved it. This is a very sophisticated meltdown because I want people to understand that not everyone's just fuming for transfers, and I'm not fuming for just transfers. I think that'd be ludicrous to just fume for transfers. But who cares? Smash a like, subscribe, a chat. Do you reckon we just do like random questions? There's also going to be news in 20 minutes. So there's going to be exclusive news in 20 minutes reportedly. By the way, chat, I never caught up with you. Do you know the dude who's going to actually be reporting that Liverpool FC in like exclusive news? Is he reliable? Is he reliable? Because I don't know the source. I'm not sure if the source is even worth waiting for. Wisdom, not soon enough for FSG. Transfer market Liverpool net spend last 5 years, 214 million. Yeah, fair play. We need to be on FSG about the money. They clearly have it. They can't hide it now. No, they do have the money. I think it's more about the way the football club's being run. They need to make better decisions about who's in control of certain things and not be giving people lazily incompetent roles that they don't apply to. We need a new sporting director who can take the majority of the charge. This is exactly what I was talking about, Mo. Mo, you actually speak sense. I'm sorry, I disrespected you earlier. I massively fucking over it. Like, I massively disrespected you. Mo needs to be a mod if he's not already. He deserves it for signings and new scouts. That's right, bro. At our job, Rob Brighton's, they are finding gems for fuck's sake, or cop someone from Twitter as a scout. There's people on Twitter that'd be more certified than Klopp because they have more time than Klopp, you know what I mean? Go out there and get someone who's established. I don't know why we don't make a little run in for Ralf Rangnick. Is Ralf Rangnick doing anything? He's at Austria, isn't he? But he was going to do Austria and Man United, correct? I'd like him to probably do something like that. Henry thought of a way to get the fans off his back by bidding for Caicedo. Exactly. Knowing he don't want to come. Text Klopp before the night, and before Klopp never talks about transfers. He did that day, Hollywood. It's a shame because Klopp does obviously adhere to it, but then we've got to realise Klopp is the boss. So if he had a boss that was competent enough, well, then now we're getting the maximum skills. It's like the way if you put, I don't know, if you put a really good footballer who needs good coaching with friggin' like Neil Warnock, you know, like it's probably not going to bring the best out of the player. He's a bit of a shit manager, you know what I'm saying? So even though he's a good player, if he's not under the right person managing him, then it doesn't work. The same way we might have the right coach, but if we haven't got the right owners and the owners are telling them to do the wrong things, well, then now we're in a predicament. It might not be a Klopp problem, but it's an FSG problem. But that's not factual. There's no factual evidence to say that. But yes, it is very abnormal for Liverpool to want that. And now, chat, I need you to realise how abnormal it was that us bidding for Caicedo, how abnormal it was to not only bid 110 million, but to go out of the blue and bid 110 million before even agreeing personal terms. That is wild. That is a very unusual thing. Very unusual thing. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, chat, come on. Seriously. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to think it through. Based on chances, there's a good chance that maybe something was a little bit fishy there. But again, you can't factually prove that they were just trying to do it for PR. But the timing was awfully convenient. You know, there was the Chelsea draw and there was lack of transfer news. Fans get impatient, and rightly so, because it's not the first summer transfer window that we've had the right to be impatient. I can't get the board not wanting to overspend on players. See, I don't even care about spending. I care about quality and quantity. And if you can find the quality through low spending, that's fine. We've done it before. I believe we can do it again. But we don't even get the volume, so we don't even try. We get too little positions. The attack is the example of how we should have our midfield and our defence. First, second, and third option are all great. You know what I'm saying? Overspends on players they are not convinced that will help in the long term, but that's their fault for not getting our targets. Endo is a stopgap, but we need another one. Endo isn't a stopgap. He's been very much identified as a non-stopgap. He's coming in to like be a starter, I think. I believe that's true, but I might be wrong. I actually missed before as well when you guys were trying to credible. Wait, it's pure Twitter banter. Oh, is it? So yeah, I'm not staying up for that news then. Is Phillips actually coming, for fuck's sake? No. Sky Sports says it. Why would he be coming? Why are people going to believe Sky Sports? James was the bidder stunt agreed between Brighton and FSG. Mac deal, a part of the Mac deal to force Chelsea's hand. I suppose it's not entirely impossible for Brighton to say, listen, are you up for joining us with this? Blah, blah, blah. But no, I don't think that happens. It's not impossible, but I do think now we're living in a movie. But yeah, I'm not disputing that there could have been anything fishy, though, because that's a very fishy way to try and sign a player, not trying to even agree personal terms. James, is the hint? No. These are majority agent talk from the sounds of things. I think his agent is trying to get him a move. So that's always productive to mention a team who needs a centre-back involved with it. It means he could go to an even better team. So I think it's agent talk. James, is that a TV or a treadmill next to you? It's a telly, lad. Television. Endo as a starter is absolutely ridiculous. Liverpool are a shambles. I think it's just the lack of quality in that position. I don't think we've got enough depth. I think people are putting too much faith into Bajcetic. Bajcetic he's played about 12 games for Liverpool, or 13. 5 of them was at CDM, and we won one of those games. And people say Bajcetic is the dude. It's just premature is all. You know, cream will always rise to the top. If you have 3 CDMs and Bajcetic so happens to be the best of the 3, he'll play because he's the best. Or at least that's the way it should be. But it doesn't seem like he's the best. Even when I watch him, okay, in the future he could be. Right now he's not. And you've got to consider that if Endo gets injured, now we're relying on Bajcetic. Or if Endo isn't good enough, now we're relying on Bajcetic. That's a problem. Let's go get someone who's a bit more established. That's my thing. I'm not trying to doubt Endo by any means, but when people say just trust Klopp, I do. But I want to trust him with slightly more resources because it's not Klopp's fault when we get an overwhelming amount of injuries. How do you accommodate injuries? You make sure you have enough players. It's really a simple thing. It's not hard. It's not difficult. I'm not asking for much. I'm not saying go and get 5 more £50 million players or 5 more £100 million players. I'm saying go in the market, be smart, go get Redondo from Argentina for 12 million or 20 million, however much he is. Go even further in the market, get some proper scouts out there, have a little look at the youngsters, see if you can find any experienced heads in I don't know, the way you found Endo. Go and find someone in the Belgium league, or go find somebody who plays in Portugal, who's got a good bit of amount of experience, but maybe he's loyal to his team there, but he's got heart, got fight, got passion, stylistically he adheres to the team. There is these gems out there. It's not impossible. Gini Wijnaldum was like 24 years of age, coming from Newcastle, and ended up being box to box. Sadio Mane was a sound midfielder, but certainly not considered world class. You know, Salah, he was like 27 and considered like a flop at Chelsea, and ends up being one of the best thingy for us. I don't care about names when they join. I just care about quantity. And then I hope that those quantity of players will turn into quality players. You get what I'm saying, chat? That's all. Lads, we'll sign these so-called great kids, bring them under the Liverpool umbrella, and then sell for a profit, and then money-making objects again. Well, that's fine. I don't mind Moneyball. I think it's productive doing Moneyball. I think some of our best ever sales have came from Moneyball. Brewster, Jordan Ibe, Solanke. I think they've all been great. Creates profit for the football club, and I'm not against profit for the football club, as long as it aligns with. So if you're going to try and make excessive profit from a Super League, I don't align with that way of making profit. The same way I wouldn't encourage my son to go and make money by selling drugs. I think you can make a lot of money by selling drugs. You can make a very successful business by selling drugs, but it's not really productive, and you can't really call it like the best way to do it. The same way, if FSG made profit by creating a Super League, that doesn't make sense to me, even though it could get you all the money in the world. Well, now it kind of defeats the point. We're trying to win this game. That now only means we can only try and win that game, and I don't like that game. I want to stick to the one that we know isn't broken. Don't fix what's not broken. You know what I mean? So in this market, it's fine to do Moneyball. I like the fact that they're trying to make profit in that sense. I'm not against businessmen making profit, but try and still keep the models intact is all. You know what I'm saying? You can make money in various ways. That's just not one of the best ways. Problem, the Moneyball, is that money isn't coming back. In terms of when we spend, is that what you're saying? Like we'll sell players but not buy them? Because that's actually not. We will buy players. We're just not buying the amount of players that we need, which is like showing a big incompetence in terms of who we're selectively choosing. Man, I'm worried about this season. To be honest, I'm more concerned for the lack of centre-back depth. I think other than Van Dijk and Kanate, we don't have a reliable centre-back. One injury away from disaster. And again, you know, you're one centre-back away from relying on straw sticks like Joel Matip and Joe Gomez, which that's scary. That's a bit of a tough thing, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm on to you. I'll stand on this. It would be better if we had kept Fabinho. That's right. And then sign Lavia. That's true. But that's in hindsight. And I'm sure it wasn't Jurgen Klopp sitting there saying, okay, I'm going to sell Henderson, I'm going to sell Fabinho, and I'm going to sell Milner, or let go of Milner, and then replace them all with Enzo. Chat, do we think that was a Jurgen Klopp choice? Honestly, we've got to sit there and analyse it. Do you think that was a Jurgen Klopp choice? And what was we even really looking like we were going to act on Lavia? Because I think we were taking the piss. You know what I mean? Like, we're awfully specific. We keep our shortlist awfully narrow. It's like if you inquire 5 players on FIFA and they all come back in the shit and you never looked up the rating online, you've now got a problem, because now you've got to wait another 14 days till the report comes back. That's just a FIFA analogy. I'm not actually comparing FIFA to real life before you all get on me. It's like a proper taboo thing to compare footy to FIFA, isn't it? At this point, I'd be happy with just any midfielder coming in. But look what that's turned into, though. Yeah, look what that's turned into. It's gone from Jude Bellingham to I'm happy with a midfielder. Chat WRL, did you just clock what just happened? To this fan, let's use EA as an example of the thousands and millions of Liverpool fans, and let's analyse why FSG always stay in the job, okay? WRL, if you just clocked that, let's read the sentence again. At this point, I'd be happy with any midfielder coming in. If I asked you 2 months ago, would you be happy with any midfielder? You'd have said no, wouldn't you? You'd said no, innit? You'd have said no because you'd have been like, no, we've just been linked with Jude Bellingham. What do you mean? Like, hang on a sec. If there's any ladies in the chat, you might understand this. Ladies, if you're sitting there and your man says, okay, we're going to go out for a lovely fancy Italian, but then he takes you to Mackey's. Now, it's great thought that he still wants to take you to Mackey's, Fantastic thought. Oh my God, how lovely of him. But I thought we were going for an Italian. It's a bit of an adrenaline dump. Now you've just overdressed. You've just invested time into nice makeup and you're looking forward to what you're going to choose. And now you're having a double Big Mac. You know what I mean? You're having 20 chicken nuggets share box. Like, that's a problem. Because you weren't prepared to put dirty grease in your body. You were expecting to have some fine Italian meatballs down your throat. Ooh, pause. Ow. I didn't even mean it like that, chat. Can I get a... Chat, I only feel bad. Let me tell you why I feel bad. Let me just tell you why I feel bad. Okay? I never said nothing wrong there. I actually never even said nothing wrong there. I never said nothing wrong there. But your dirty minds perceived it. And I felt it through the screen. I felt it through the screen. Chat, you's a dirty bastard. That's your fault, that. Because I never actually said nothing wrong. Is meatballs an Italian food? Yes. So that was your dirty minded energy that just went on to me. You know what I mean? McDonald's is heavy. I'm not going to lie. I need to stop using McDonald's as an analogy because it is a nice food, but it's disgusting when you analyse what's in it. Disgusting. 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 And you're onto that frigging meme where he's in the crowd and he's like, disgusting. Disgusting. We brought in 3 new centre mids, plus we've got Harvey and Curtis as a backup. We don't need any more. A right back. Okay, fine. That's your opinion. If you think we don't need any more, great. I'll remind you of previous seasons where we've had overwhelming amounts of injuries in all positions, midfield being one of them, centre-backs being another. Yes, we've got 3 midfielders in, but we've also let go of 7. I think that's important context that you've just missed there, Neil. So it's great that we've got 3 new centre mids. We have also let go of 7. And bear in mind, we struggled with more players. We had more injuries with more players. Don't you think that's important, Neil? Because now we're going into a season with the same amount of competition. So we're still playing in Europe. And that means we're still going to have the same amount of games, potentially, maybe even more if we go further in the Europa League than what we did in the Champions League last year. And that increases the chances of us getting more injuries. Would you agree? Because now, Neil, what that disputes is the fact that 3 new mids, great, but now where's the 4th? You know what I'm saying? Because last season we had more. Now we've got a smaller squad, and we had an injury problem for at least 2 of the last 3 seasons, maybe even the last 3, if I'm remembering correctly. We've had our injury problems for quite a while. You know what I'm saying? And if the chat's getting triggered, don't get rattled. We're having a conversation. Come on. Come on. We don't need any more. Did I just see that comment? Nah, this fan base is special. It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting how the expectations can drop over time. Really, really is. And then people say, James, you're being too negative. It's like, well, ask Shankly about this. If you respect his opinion, ask him. Well, I can't. No, you can. You can still go and see his quotations. You can still go and see his beliefs. Even though we can't physically speak right now, you can still go and see what he's saying. And he would have said that this is unacceptable. Chat WRL. I'm not making things up of what he said. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm talking about Paisley, but come on, Paisley is like the protege of Shankly. I've been saying from get-go that FSG should put all their eggs in one basket for Bellingham. All the LFC fans can eat my words now. I didn't think that would have been productive. We needed many more areas to solve. That wouldn't have not been productive. Sorry, you're not saying what I thought you said. You're not saying just get Bellingham, but we should have put everything in the basket for Bellingham. I get you. I get what you're saying. I interpreted this originally as you're saying that we should have just got just Jude Bellingham and nothing else. Forget centre-back, F centre-back, and let's keep it moving. DN says it's the fact Klopp had £100 million plus to spend and begged FSG for Enzo and doesn't want anyone else. It's so frustrating. But he doesn't have full control over the transfers. Not every signing we've made is a Klopp transfer. Not every signing. Some of it's the club. And also, Klopp doesn't have full control of the outs because he wanted Enzo to stay, he wanted Fabinho to stay. The club overrided this decision and said, no, they're going to go. We're not going to get money like this for them again. And then they said, okay, then you can get Enzo. We tried to get you Caicedo, but it didn't work out because of our poor negotiations. So you can blame Klopp. You can say that he had 100 plus mil to spend. How much of that 100 mil was still allocated after? Maybe the 100 mil was just for Caicedo. You know what I mean? I don't think he's trying to prove anything. DN, I think you're looking too much into it. But big up for the super chat, though, brother. Massive, massive shout out to you. But he definitely could be doing more. That's for sure. V. Aaron, because one thing it does show is that he's got some control and he's got some influence. If he goes in and says a player that maybe it wets the tongue, then we could get somewhere, but it doesn't seem like he's doing that. Or maybe the owners are just being incompetent. FSG are doing a great job at getting people to change the tunes. Hey, James, how's your day? I hope and beg and plead that we do not sign Phillips. That would be a complete insult from FSG. That would be terrible. That would be a really, really big shame. Big up to you, V. Aaron. You absolute legend, son. You friggin' legend, mate. Alkish Monji says, can you see my comments? Do we have any youth centre-backs? Seth Vanderberg's out on loan. Reece Williams is out on loan. I can't think of anyone quality enough. I mean, I'd probably say our best youth centre-backs are out on loan. I mean, I know that there's a guy called Luke Chambers who's linked with, is it Dortmund, chat, or is it... Luke Chambers is linked with someone rather big, actually. I think he's like linked with a very, very good team who like grow good players. So, yeah, maybe him. Depends how highly the club rate him. Maybe there's someone we don't know about, but from my knowledge, no. At end of last season, we was all thinking Bellingham would join our team, and Henderson and Fabinho and Thiago. Now we lost Bellingham, Hendo, and Fabinho. Goes to show how crazy the window is, how you really think. Facts, bro. Oh my goodness, Mo, you've spoke some serious facts tonight. I went from thinking you were a dummy because of my dumminess to now knowing you're the most intelligent man in the room. Big up to you, sir. Big up to Ravi as well, my G. James, big up. What are our scouts doing? Yeah, it's facts, bro. You know more than me, my friend. You know more than me. You know more than me. You know. Big up, 700 people in the stream, by the way. Smash those likes. Why are mods copy and pasting their opinions and spamming the chat? Lol, ban yourselves. Yeah, mods, relax. Nah, if they're doing it like every couple of minutes, that's fine. If they're doing it every few seconds, then yeah, we have a bit of a problem there. You know what I mean? Cheyenne says, if you have Moneyball movie, then it's philosophy Fenway has embraced. It will always be average to good players, Max, that we will get our starting 11. But okay, then that's fine. But now where's the volume? Because now we're still lacking in some areas. I think everyone forgets we've had some really injury-riddled seasons. So I'm not saying go and get A-star names. I'm saying now, okay, go and get a quantity of players who can maybe hopefully turn out to be quality players. And then we can massively benefit off these quality players all in due course. The same way we did with a lot of our other signings. We never signed superstars to win the league. We don't need to do it. We've shown that we can win without signing superstars. It's just now we're not signing enough players. That's all it is. It's not that we're not spending enough money. We're just not putting the money into the smartest areas. The money isn't the problem for me. It's the volume. And there's no way of getting quality if you don't take a chance on volume. We just drew with Chelsea at their crib against the conquering Caicedo with a shit team. And we beat a 3-1 10 men. Not like to... What's not to like? Chelsea are not great. Derek, sorry, Derek, are you being sarcastic? I think Derek might be being fucking sarcastic. But chat, let me give you an example of people who are genuinely fine with what's going on. You're going to scratch your eyes out. Even people who agree with this opinion will scratch their eyes out because I don't know how many people can agree with it. But who am I to say who what you agree and disagree with? Oh no, I've done something fucked up. Shizer. Right, let me remove that. Your heads are gonna be blown off at this. Absolutely blown off. Watch this. Share screen, share Twitter. 750 people, by the way. Go and smash those likes, subscribe, and all that stuff. And big up to everybody for the financial support, man. It's been a bit of a Debbie Downer stream because Hamez is depressed because of the transfers, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Right, so I said this, but this was the original tweet, which I'll show you first. So, Liverpool are second in the Premier League from table, and we are unbeaten in 13 matches. Chat, do you understand how people paint the narrative? And who else thinks that FSG runs this account? Liverpool are second in the Premier League. This is the first point that was raised to suggest our good form and why we shouldn't be worried. That's why. That's the first point. We are second in the Premier League. Chat. Come on. We've got a problem there. You get what I'm saying? We've got a huge problem. The fact that you're making a defence, that was second in the league. We are 13 unbeaten. Well, 11 of those games came with a completely different squad. That's one thing we all have to agree with. Let's keep going. There's too much negativity surrounding us for a team that has empathetically turned the corner after last season's woes. Emphatically, that was it, sorry. Not empathetically. Emphatically. Now, define emphatically, chat. Emphatically, right, because I think we need to get the definition. Let me get the definition up for you. Emphatically, let me see what that means. Because that sounds like we've made some drastic change. So, emphatically means in a forceful way, without doubt and clearly. That's the definition according to Google, chat. So, he's saying that We have forced a way to change our team completely. Well, we didn't force through Caicedo, and we didn't force through Lavia, and we didn't force through Bellingham. Where's the emphaticness to this shit? Turned the corner after the last few seasons. We're not perfect, but we're not perfect yet. So he's suggesting we have been perfect before. We're not perfect yet, but we've been perfect before. But this is the best time of the season to not be at your very best. We're still gaining match sharpness and fitness. Well, you could have said that 2 games after last season, but because of poor planning, we noticed over the course of the season, the games were too saturated and the squad was too small. The squad was too small and we got too many injuries. And now, what did we say the solution was, chat? Let's make the squad smaller. So our problem when we finished there 2 seasons ago and we had no centre-backs was the lack of preparation on centre-backs. The problem we had in midfield that forced us to get Arthur was the lack of preparation in midfield. So now I'm seeing somebody claim that was second, and that's a good premise to why we should be happy and not and not negative. And then because we're unbeaten in 13 games, even though 11 of those games came last season with a completely different squad and a completely more enhanced squad, well, that means we should not be negative based on those 2 premises right there, right? There's too much negativity. Let's define negativity, because we can also differentiate that with honesty. If honesty so happens to be negative, well, that doesn't make honesty bad, does it, chat? Emphatically, we've just got the definition of what emphatically means. Emphatically means it's clear, it's a forceful change. Where's the change and how is it being forced? We didn't force through our main targets. Klopp had to force to get Enzo. But if you stuck to the original plan and got your targets and you did it more competently, great. And what's the excuse? Well, at least they tried, but they did not succeed. They need to now go and find a solution. And they were fine with giving Klopp the authority. Okay, you said no to Enzo before. You could have said no to Enzo again. That's an FSG problem. If you have a problem with Enzo, I don't personally, but if you had a problem with it, and I do fear if he is our main CDM, but overall I don't mind him, then that's an FSG problem, because they went and said to Klopp, no, once, and they said yes this time. What's the difference? They rolled over on the belly and they got a little bit scared. We're not perfect yet, but this is the best time of the season to not be at your very best. We're still gaining match sharpness and fitness. Could have said the same thing after 2 games last year. So every single point in which he's raised there can be easily refuted and actually can be quite nonsensical, because there's no claims that directly support improvement. And the same way you can be skeptical if somebody you know is going down a bad path and you identify signs of, okay, it looks like they're going down a bad road, I might need to interfere and give them some advice here, or just give them some friendly loving. You get what I'm saying? What are you going to do? So this is all I'm doing. I'm just letting you guys know what I think the problems with is the football club. I'm speaking to you like you are FSG. I'm speaking to you like, listen, guys, this is what we need to do. This is how we need to do it, in my opinion. Because I know your way's not working. I'm not saying my way works perfectly, but their way isn't working. Do you get what I'm saying? Something needs to be improved. Why do so many people within the LFC fan base just roll over and accept bare minimum and neglect from our owners? How can they be happy with no improvements to their beloved team? We are Liverpool. Well, it's funny because they forget about the standards. I always reference Shankly as a god of Liverpool, and if you heard what he said about second place, you know, you'd understand that accepting top 4 is a problem. And factually, they are accepting financial gain over anything. The Super League should have proven that, because they weren't going to the Super League to win the Super League. There was no stake, there was no risk. Can't get relegated in the Super League. They just wanted guaranteed money, and they wanted to be one of the 12 teams to receive said revenue. And they were happy to fuck the revenue for every other team in the Premier League, because that means if we go, now that goes less, and it lowers the money in the communities, because now all these big teams have gone to global sports, meaning local shops around Anfield would have crashed down because they're not getting the finances on match days, which is where they make the majority of their money, and it creates an economic problem. Furthermore, and that's why the government stepped in, because it was an economic danger. It was an economic danger, which is why the government said, no, fuck this. You're keeping everything here. So what we're just going to say, fine then. So just because they said, sorry, great. Believe me, the Super League was worse than just creating some mad league. Like, some people try and defend it like as if it was something. No. It was a problem. Big up Hamez. What have I missed, bro? Seeing you grind. Big up to you. Is your name Josh? Josh, big up to you, sir. Just a rant and a rave about our shit business this window. Why is it okay to lose points at the start of the season? They're worth the same points at the end of the season. That's right. It's like if I took you back in time and said, at the start of the season where we got 97 points and City got 98 points, would you go back to the first game that you drew and take points off? Of course you would. You know, we should understand more than anybody it's hard to drop points anyway. It was only a couple of seasons ago where we were shitting ourselves if we got a draw. Remember when we drew against Tottenham? Remember how devastated we all was because we know the standards. We're not even trying to meet those standards. We're saying, no, it's fine. It's the start of the season. These are just bullshit excuses with no premise behind them. It's just kind of subsiding potential problems in the near and distant future. I've been FSG out for a few years now, but over the last 12 months, I've realised Klopp is a massive part of the problem too. But then who employs Jurgen Klopp? Arib. Who employs Jurgen Klopp? Because it's FSG. And if they gave Klopp the authority to make that control, then yes, it's Klopp's fault. But then it's still FSG's fault. Because what you're saying there is, I've been FSG out for a few years, but the last 12 months, it's Klopp's fault. So you're saying in the last 12 months, FSG haven't done that much. It's massively part and down to Klopp. No. Because even if it is massively down to Klopp, both things can be right. If it's massively down to Klopp, it's massively down to them. It's the way it is, you know? When the club does well, you've got to praise the owners. When the club does bad, you've got to praise the owner. You've got to let the owners know that it was them. Because it's their decision-making that gets it there. Yeah, guys, that indie dude on Twitter, I think he's a Twitter troll. I've been told so now. I'm not gonna even look into that. Did I miss any super chats, by the way? Did I? Yeah, John Williams. I don't think I read this one. Emphatically sounds like we've won the league. Yeah, facts, bro. Yeah, facts. I don't. Yeah, that's the way he made it sound, and I didn't think that. I didn't think it was worth that. You know what I mean? There's definitely no big news regarding Liverpool. I suppose I'll have another look. Why not? Why not? I suppose I'll have a little breach for you. So I'm happy to do my due diligence for you, chat. You know what I mean? I'm always trying to be first, and it's always nice if we can get the breaking news while it's still hot. But yeah, it's still just that no eeny talk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we've got two youngsters. I heard today that we turned down Evan Ferguson, and yeah. It's been an interesting day, chat. You know what I mean? 730 people in the stream as well. It's been amazing seeing the support recently, chat. Thank you so much. All the super chats. Let me shout out everyone who super chatted, and hopefully I never missed any. Big up to Carway, big up to Thomas, big up to DN. Massive shout out to you, sir. V.A. Aaron, big up to you, brother. Big up to you. You're always supporting. Alkish, big up to you, sir. And then John, the man to get in with the last minute winner. What an absolute superhero. Chat, if you can leave a like on this video, it's always good. And if you want to continue to see the the morning streams, the midday Redmond roundups, maybe even a midday stream as well, and the nightly streams, just know I'm loving it as well. So if you guys want to continue to see it, I'm more than happy to keep on delivering it. You know what I mean? But with all that being said, I'm going to get off. You have a blessed night, all right? God bless you all. And, hopefully when I see you tomorrow, we can start the day off nicely with a lovely stream in the morning. Get your cuppers ready, get your breakfast going, and we'll have a belter. And if you're somewhere else, if you're in Australia, big up my Australians, my kangaroo lane fellas, then make sure you get your tea prepared. You know what I mean? But anyway, guys, without further ado, see you all in a bit. God bless. JP.